This reaction is brought to you by my $5 or more patrons at patreon.com/AlexHeitz. We have Manchester Pictures, Identitech, Steve Aldersley, Anthony Coleman, Ray Schuster, David Dockery, Kurt David, Aubrey Coper, Andreas Glaisel, and Biff C. Thank you all so much for sponsoring this video, supporting my family. The channel means the world to me. I hope you enjoy this reaction. Today I have a latte I made myself, poorly. I think I ground the beans too fine or maybe tamped too hard because it was a slow shot. So it's a little bit bitter, but you know what? You live and you learn, right? Oh, I hope you're all doing well. Hope you're all doing well. It's a nice Saturday today, August 8th. Today I'm recording two reactions, one of which is this album, Head Over Heels. So last one I listened to, Garland's, well, last album I listened to is Dark Side of the Moon, but previous album, Garland's first album, kind of an interesting, not, you know, if you're going from having only heard Heaven or Las Vegas and Treasure to going to that, it's like, ooh, it's kind of a little bit of an abrupt shift, but you got some little glimmers of what Cocteau Twins would eventually become later. And then with this album, it happens, I believe, 1 year later, because Garland's was June 1982, and this is October 1983. It's only Elizabeth and Robin on this thing. You have John Turner for some engineering, John Fryer as a producer, but that's pretty much it. Just two people, Elizabeth Fraser for vocals, and then Robin Guthrie for guitar, bass guitar, and drum machine. So this sounds like it might be kind of sparse. I don't know. Very interested. It featured the band's signature sound of Guthrie's lush guitars under Fraser's mostly wordless vocals, and is considered an archetype of early ethereal wave music. And I've heard people kind of compare this to Treasure, which is their next album, which I've already heard, obviously, which comes out a year later in November of '84. So this one's going to be interesting to hear because I'm expecting, you know, I'm trying to think okay, Garland's here, Treasure here, what's this? You know, this will be interesting. So 37 minutes, it's quite short yet again, like their first album. So let's just jump right in, guys. I'm excited to listen. We have 10 tracks, nothing too special. Let's go. When Mama Was Moth. Don't rename the file, just play it. I already really like the production a lot more now. Wow, this is like exactly like a middle ground between Garland's and Treasure. It's remarkable. The production is way better. I like the production on this already a lot more. The songwriting is still kind of Garland's-esque, at least on that first track, because that was almost like nothing, right? That was just like, and then it was done. It didn't even like really climax or like, it just kind of, it's kind of like a plane, just kind of got there and then just stayed there and then it landed. Wasn't necessarily bad, but interesting, very intriguing. Let's just keep trucking. I want to see what the rest of the album has to hold. 5, 10, 50-fold. Hmm. Hmm. Still the same. Still the same kind of thing. Yeah, this is really interesting because listening to Garlands, I'm just kind of like, whoa, this is, not, you can't quite kind of see the trajectory, but like this makes a lot of sense as like the middle child between the two albums I've heard already. Um, I don't know how much I like this one yet, because it's like Treasure is so like lush and rich, and like the production is great, and the songwriting is really good. This kind of is so far having the same kind of problem where it's just like a couple ideas and then it's gone. Um, who knows? Maybe the other songs are different, but so far they're just kind of like. I definitely prefer this over Garland's. Certainly, this is the kind of thing that I would put on in the background. I think I've said this before with in my other two Cocteau Twins videos, but when it comes to dream pop, like some of my favorites, like Beach House and Wild Nothing, they're bands that I can put on and leave it on in the background and enjoy it because it doesn't like require a lot of your attention. But it's music you can pay attention to and really enjoy all the details and the songwriting. It's not necessarily ambient or droney or anything like that, right? But with Cocteau Twins, it rides a line, and it's been very difficult for me because it's so interesting that it's hard for me to put it on in the background, even though you think it would sound good in the background. Especially Treasure. Like I can't just put on Treasure except for maybe like the song Pandora, I think it's called. That's a very like dreamy kind of chill track that doesn't have much going on. But everything else on Treasure is so interesting and in your face at times, yet still has a chill vibe that it like I have to pay attention to it when I have it on. I can't just put Treasure on in the background, at least personally. This I could. This is like a version of Treasure I could put on in the background. But in a way that's almost also kind of a criticism because like just sitting here and paying attention to it, it's not super interesting to me so far. But I think it would make good background kind of ethereal music. That's after just two songs though, so let's see what the rest has to offer. Sugar Hiccup. That's just the Hefner Las Vegas riff. Do 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 do. It was like a proto Heaven or Las Vegas track, like 7 years beforehand. Wow. Yeah, that I definitely got more like later Cocteau vibes off of that one. Interesting. Definitely in the guitar tones too. Again, just like one, two ideas and then it's gone. Um, I don't know how I feel about that. These are very simple, straightforward songs. Um, I don't know. Our Angelhood. Hmm. I need to stop like comparing this to the other albums, I think, because it's kind of doing something unique as well that like none of the other albums are doing. But at the same time, it is kind of pulling from all those same ideas or the other albums pulled from these ideas. Kind of weird because I'm hopping around everywhere. It's not useful for, you know, musical commentary just to compare random albums to each other. Yeah, but this definitely is doing a lot of different things. It's not just, you know, the simplicity of Garland's plus the gothic complexity and interesting production of Treasure. There's a little bit more of an energy here than in Garland's. Like a little bit of that like post-punk energy, I suppose you could say, that comes from like the goth vibes. Yeah, these are all interesting songs so far. Like I said, good background songs. They don't really hold my complete interest and attention right out of the gate. Maybe on future listens they will. But I'm enjoying the listen so far, I think. Glass Candle Grenades. Interesting. The songs are kind of gaining in energy a little bit. You still have a little bit of like the warbly vocals from like Garland's, but they're getting more poppy, I think. Like before they were definitely trying to be more kind of goth post-punk thing. But this is getting a little poppier. It's a little more upbeat, which I can vibe with, but it still has that kind of like dark tone, and I think that it was kind of like perfected a little bit more in Treasure. But these last few songs I'm kind of vibing with a little bit more than the first couple, I think. So, first half done. Into the second half in the Gold Dust Rush. Yeah, this is definitely shaping itself up to be like prime background dream pop kind of stuff for me. Like as far as Cocteau Twins goes, because it's just like it's just not quite coming together the way other Cocteau Twins albums have. Like I said, I think it's better than Garland's, but it just doesn't quite reach the heights of the other two albums that I've heard so far. It's like it's trying, it's moving in that direction, but this just isn't quite saying enough of its own thing, I think. I don't know, maybe time will tell on that one, but so far it just kind of seems like a weird amalgamation of things I've already heard. Maybe that's part of the problem, is just the time that I've listened to this and the other ones I've heard in relation to it, but I don't know. Not bad though, certainly not bad. The Tinderbox of a Heart. Do you know what this is reminding me of? The Alone in the Dark 1 soundtrack from 1992. Listen to this. You hear it? This one is getting quieter almost, it sounds like. I think that's my favorite so far. I didn't like adore the production. It sounded a little like quiet and distant, but I liked the vibe of that one, especially towards the end. Like comparing this album to Garland's, like Garland's just felt like, you know, each track was just like a couple ideas and it was gone and didn't really feel like a cohesive thing. This feels like it's trying to like be a little more cinematic and dynamic, I think. It's not succeeding as well as something like Treasure, but yeah, that was an interesting one. I kind of dug it. Multifoiled. The vibe on this one is weird. That one almost had like kind of, what would you call it? Like a bluesy kind of jazzy vibe. That was weird. I don't quite know what to make of that one. So let's just move on. My love, Paramour. Haley Williams. Another low key track, just kind of there. Not many ideas. Again, it's that like penultimate track syndrome where it's like the one or two tracks before the last track just aren't as good to me. I don't know. Do you guys have that too? Just generally with albums? I don't know. Last one, Musette and Drums. Okay. I kind of dug that one too. So here's like the final part of my first reaction here. There's moments on this that I like way more than Garland's. But there just aren't enough of them. This isn't cohesive enough to go toe to toe with something like Heaven in Las Vegas or Treasure to me. There's a few interesting moments kind of sprinkled through the songs, but it just doesn't quite fully come together. But I mean, like, I'm gonna try to, like, you know, at least listen to several of these songs, if not the whole album, in the upcoming week, because I do a follow-up, you know, a week after this video to kind of say how I feel a week later. It might change. I don't know. This is simultaneously exactly what I expected to be between Garland's and Treasure, and also slightly different. So I'll have to kind of process it a little bit. There were some moments I liked, and I kind of pointed all those out. But there's enough songs in here that are just kind of there and gone. They similar to Garland's. They just sound better than some of the Garland songs, I think. But Tinderbox of a Heart was pretty solid. I like that last one, Musette and Drums. Multifoiled was bizarre. I feel like Sugar Hiccup through Glass Candle Grenades was a nice little section. First two tracks I don't know. In the Gold Dust Rush I don't know. My Love Paramour was okay. I don't know. We'll see how this one sits. It was an interesting listen, that's for sure, though. Very interesting. So, again, in a week I will post the follow-up, so subscribe if you want to see that, or just check out my playlist in a week, because I drop them in my First Reactions playlist, and you can see how I feel. Tomorrow, I'm not recording anything tomorrow. On Monday, I'll be recording Victoria Land, I believe. So stay tuned for more Cocteau Twins, just trudging through this discography. I will be doing The Moon and the Melodies, which is technically not really a Cocteau Twins album, but it sort of is. They just kind of named it and labeled it bizarrely because they had Harold Budd on it, but what can you do? That is all. Thank you all so much for watching. Stay tuned for more. Godspeed.